Wait, let me get the Uranus's Twitch pages open. They are still live.
Are we going? Looks like we're going.
Are we
Maybe.
back? Hello. Yes. Hi. I have image? Wait. Twitch has image.
Well, we're still trying to get caught up on our end. We don't have everything we're supposed to have back, but we will see what we can do from here.
We will do our best to.
Uh-oh. Okay, good. We didn't get kicked out. We're still here. Important thing.
Yes, everything is back to normal.
So we did. We definitely did miss KillerApp there. KillerApp obviously having the Titans mitts now and is seeing what he can do. But we do need to find Bombos.
So with that, oh my God, KillerApp is in go mode. Oh wait, we need Bombos. Never mind. There we go. That was my hype. Reconstruction of wherever Titan Smiths were found. I'm positive chat will pinpoint the exact location.
Yeah, I think chat's expecting it to be at the Pyramid Ferry, which I think is pretty accurate given how quickly that occurred. The hype felt forced. I don't know what we're talking about here, Picky.
No, that was like genuine-ish. Anyway,
we technically do need the flippers for go mode. However, because Swamp is not required, and Swamp is the only dungeon that hard requires flippers. We're sort of calling it as a go mode, as the runners most likely will. But here we go, KillerApp also checking Turtle Rock to see if he can do it yet.
And it does look like Ether is required.
I'm not sure I fully agree with checking the Turtle Rock. Just because you already know you need Bombos, I feel like just doing Ice Palace first was probably a faster play, but at the same time, Go Mode Ice Palace is super fast. Turtle Rock takes a long time regardless.
That is very true, depending on where the big key is, as we did get confirmation that both the Red Boomerang as well as the Titan Mitts were in the Cursed Ferry. Of course, the item that we needed the most was the Titan Mitts, although the Magic Boomerang is a nice safety to have, as it does have a bit of a longer range compared to the normal Boomerang. KillerApp finishing up the Hookshot Cave, not finding much of value. We'll be checking the Super Bunny Cave as well. And even more money. Wow. Now, it does look like KillerApp is going to take a dive into Turtle Rock. Will be able to full clear it due to having found the Ice Rod in the Desert Big Chest.
Yeah, and definitely when you're already up here, definitely makes sense. And of course, getting the Dark Death Mountain, I hadn't been factoring that in, of course.
Yes, definitely the most important thing to go fast in the randomizer is to do as many checks as possible in as little time as possible, and combining multiple checks together is a very essential way to getting your time down. Meanwhile, Sefi also checking out the Super Bunny cave.
Getting the nice little hookshot glitch through the block there.
Yeah, this game does not like it when two actions are performed simultaneously. As we find another bottle. I believe, was that a bottle?
I'm not quite sure, but that was a bottle. That's for sure, yeah.
I mean, at this point, we already have all of the blue items. Well, except flippers. Flips are still blue. Anyway, blue theories aside, the change jump room here. Ooh. Change jumps still hit pretty hard regardless of mail upgrade. But with the amount of hearts that both of our runners have picked up, currently sitting both at 12 hearts. Sefi going to open up the Turtle Rock. It'll be interesting to see if he also will choose to take a dive. And what is that bunny sprite? Is that like a metal bunny? Or a tin bunny, I should say? Not quite sure. KillerApp getting not much of anything from the big key chest.
Yeah.
Or big key location, rather. Big key location chest, there we go. As Sefi does follow closely behind.
Yeah, it's true. I see a call for have they checked pedestal. It's true. Pedestal it's fully possible to be where Bombos is. Very
yes,
unlikely, but it is definitely a possibility. That'd be quite the evil thing to do, Seed, is give us everything we need to do the Seed in under an hour. And then go, nah, actually.
So I heard you like Swan Palace.
Yeah, we heard you actually need the flippers. Deal with it. And again, we might still actually need the flippers anyways. It's fully possible that Bombos is just in Swamp Palace in the first place.
That is also very true. Sefi taking a calculated death warp to refill his health as well as get back to the start of the dungeon. KillerApp finding the silver arrow. Seems relevant. KillerApp getting a little dicey with the roller pin. Sefi using the invulnerability frames from the crystal pegs to his advantage to walk straight through the chain jumps. Turtle Rock Dark Maze, once you know the path, pretty easy to get through. Will opt to pick up the full magic restore as well as the 2 hearts. Definitely can't blame KillerApp. Turtle Rock does require a lot of magic.
Yep. May also allow him to be able to do all of the lasers using the Burna without having to rely too much on lasers, because we'll see exactly what his strategy is here. Let it stop and try to set it up again.
Who tries to go for the boots laser skip. Does get it. Has to be careful.
I was about to say, I'd be setting up the safety door right now.
Yeah. Does opt to find Bombos.
And there's go mode. Well, I assume this will be go mode for our runners.
Definitely, I doubt that either of these runners are going to have any trouble with using minor glitches. Of course, if you happen to find flippers along the way, that'd be nice, but definitely at this point, not required. KillerApp back down to 2 hearts. Has to be careful in the Trinex fight, as Trinex still does quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, Death 2 Trinex would match these runners up to be pretty much dead even again. Sefi probably still a couple rooms back, but it would be very close at that point. Of course, you have to be very careful about the Trinex's first head poke here. There we go, got the dodge. Oh, and his magic, actually. Ooh.
Does get juked by the ice head. As I mentioned, Trinex is chronologically the last dungeon boss of the game, so...
Yeah, so actually, never having taken the safety door, he's just ahead by the laser bridge checks now, basically. A little bit ahead, a little bit more ahead than that, but basically just ahead by the laser bridge checks.
That is true. Now, it is always quite marvelous to see runners sync back up later after such a wild start. Of course, the seed has been fairly linear so far, but
yeah, it opened up very quickly, but it required most of those steps to be taken before you could really progress anyways, so...
Yes, that's what I wanted to say, but...
Yeah.
Words.
It bottlenecked in a very effective way to allow the sort of to get close again. Sometimes you get these seeds where it opens up so much and only half the things are required and the people who made those 50% of the guesses.
Yes, definitely Randomizer does have an element of luck as to what was the best versus the less optimal choice.
Oh, we are getting nice icy floor. I think we're probably going to be okay. We'll have to see how his spin goes. It should be fine, but you never know with what silliness can happen with the spin on occasion.
Very true. Of course, Trinex will always follow the same pattern of moving straight down, then following the curb to the left. And if you do it correctly, such as KillerApp did, you will get the instant quick kill.
And Sefi, there he goes.
In go mode, knows he is in go mode, will skip the second chest on laser bridge. Ooh.
Might just want to take a death here. Just gonna blue potion. Fair enough.
Definitely another thing is if you have the equipment, a lot of time what tends to happen to me is I'll want to save it for a better time, but that time never comes and I just never use it. So definitely using potions when you think you need them most is definitely a good choice. Especially
non-blue potions. Blue potions are a little bit harder because they're sort of useful all the time. If you have a green or red potion, though, use it when you need it. There's no reason to be... There's no good reason to typically save those for much longer than
necessary. Yes,
yeah.
They are a lot more invaluable as opposed to the blue potions, which heal both health and magic. And they do also cost significantly less in the potion shop. I believe it's 60 and 80.
60 and 120, I believe.
Okay, for green potions and red potions respectively. And then we have the 160 for the blue potion.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, KillerApp in the free-for-all room.
A little interesting that Killer's doing Mire before Ice, I feel like. But that being said, it's largely irrelevant which one you do first anyways.
Yes, both have to be done anyway, and...
The only real difference is that now you're not going to do any items in ice except for Cold Stare himself, but if Cold Stare happens to have those silvers, it makes Mire or Vitreous a lot simpler. Well, I say that, but that being said, Burna sword dashes are going to take out the small Vitreous eyeballs very quickly regardless.
Yes, very true. I haven't even thought of these silvers yet. Now, it is very possible that we won't see silvers, as we do see Sefi stocking up on blue potions, has more than enough money to pretty much buy the entire shop out of stock here.
Well, we found an item. I don't think we really needed that item, but that's okay. We are going to skip the vanilla big key chest for now, which makes sense as it's just a really long cutscene that you don't really want to have to watch if you don't need to. And we didn't need to, so good call.
Yes, getting to the vanilla big key chest does take a considerable amount of time. So thankfully KillerApp checking that chest beforehand. We'll be moving on to the downstairs area in what is arguably one of the more difficult dark rooms. Of course, we did find that lamp earlier on the Spectacle Rock, so it's going to be...
Not going to be an issue.
Yes. Sefi following closely behind.
Definitely interesting. The seed's definitely still very close, depending on what safeties we end up, if we find any further safeties and how we use them as well. Blue Mail 12 and 13 hearts is not a small amount, but at the same point is not to the point where you just sort of get to waltz through everything either.
Yes,
so,
our runners will definitely still have to be very, very mindful of their health. Of course, with the 2 bottles as well as having the bug net, we do have the ability to catch some fairies.
Yeah, KillerApp is deciding to just use a blue potion before here, and we are going to see Burna. So I expect to see just dashes. Oh no, we're just going to damage boost spins. Okay.
Yes, very tactile here, taking damage from the slime before moving into the eyeballs, as the eyeballs do, I believe, 2 hearts of damage to Blue Mail, or something similar to that.
That sounds accurate. I also wouldn't be surprised if the eyeballs actually knock you out of your spin animation as well, or your charge.
I believe that is also true. As almost every enemy that hits you will give you a knockback effect. Sefi making his way into the basement, following closely behind Killer. Will be interesting to see.
Sefi deciding to use the blue potion instead of using the magic pot off to the left on the way down. One of these few cases where I feel like knowing he may not have known about the magic pot that's off to the left of the boss door, as I do believe the time investment to get that pot is probably similar to drinking the potion, and it would have saved the potion for later.
That is very curious indeed.
He may have also been willing to do it partially for the health refill, but I don't believe his health was too low in the first place, so... just a small thing to, of course, keep in mind when you're doing things like this. We'll also see if Sefi does decide to go with sort of the NMG strat there, as we saw from KillerApp, or we'll go with Burna dashes or something else.
Meanwhile, KillerApp not going for any chests in the ice palace, as With the Ice Palace bomb jump, the big key is not required in order to beat the dungeon, as there is no boss key door to block access to the boss itself. Now, in the vanilla game, the game does expect you to make, I believe, 3 loops throughout the dungeon, in which case you would need the big key to open at least 1 big key door.
Yeah. The last little eyeball trolling Sefi there for a little bit. Took him 2 extra lightning cycles just to kill that one last eyeball.
Nice setup there. Ooh, unfortunately, gets a little bit too close to that fire bar.
We might have the same. We might have a repeat right here too. Okay, had enough iframes. We were fine.
Nope.
Until we jump off. Oh no.
There we go. Gets through the bomb jump room. Sefi, meanwhile, setting up for the fake flippers, is going to follow into the Ice Palace. Now, for this glitch to work, you have to be 1 frame from the screen transition. For the game, only checks if you have flippers 2 frames after you jump into the water. Therefore, you have exactly 1 frame of movement. And if you're only 1 pixel away, you will instantly transition. And since you transitioned from one water screen to the other, the game just assumes that you have flippers.
Yeah. Sefi having some fire rod issues there. There we go. Magic consumption not going to be a huge concern for the runners because they have Bombos, which with just these 2 magic pots under the skulls that KillerApp is using right now, will give you enough magic to use Bombos. Actually, I guess, do you even need 2? You only need 1 magic pot, I guess, to use Bombos. No, you do need 2, don't you? Do you need 2?
Yes, I believe that is correct. It does.
Small pots are only an eighth of 1. KillerApp,
yes,
of course, going to use Bombo so that he can use the fire rod to. I assume he's going to use the fire rod to help kill. Yes.
It's going to get the nice setup, though. Gets unfortunately knocked out of it. But
it can be a little tricky to. I'm not sure how possible it is to keep them there with just Tempered Sword without using some more advanced strats. I do believe that it requires either some advanced strats with like boots and pokes, or you need the butter sword damage, or maybe just luck.
I cannot confirm nor deny that. Sefi coming up on the bomb jump. We'll see if he can correctly pull it off only once. Ooh, unfortunately, doesn't get the correct pixel. This is a 2 pixel perfect trick, but once you get the visual cues down, it is a pretty consistent one to get. And now, with that said, we have a tradition on the Speed Gaming Randomizer where we guess the big key's location within Ganon's tower. There are 22 locations where the big key can possibly be. So, may I ask you, where do you think the big key is going to be?
I always enjoy a nice number 8 myself. Just been my number I like to stick to. I don't even know when I picked up 8, but it's an unusual number that's not like 14 or 17 or 22 or 3.
Definitely somewhere in the early part, of course. I'm going to go with number 4. With how the seed has been played out, giving our runners a lot, but not everything. So I'm expecting Ganon's tower to be similar. Meanwhile, Sefi using the fire rod to break the ice shell does get them into the corner, and with that cold stat is also down, and Sefi will be following KillerApp to Ganon's Tower.
We get a small key. Is it? Not the god one. But anyways, will we see? We are seeing right side strat. Maybe yes.
Yes.
Thought for a moment he was going to switch to the mirror there and just leave.
Yeah, it did look like it. But often runners, when finding a small key, will go to the right side. Now, of course, skipping the tire room, which is usually the very last place to be checked.
Yeah, not often will you see tile room checked before last. The one exception will often be if you do left side first. Some runners will go for tile room before they clear this room that we're in right now. Well,
I mean,
that could be a problem for Sefi. So right now Sefi's getting a little bit of time back if he doesn't do the right side play. But
well, then again,
but he's good. But he's losing silvers and red mail for not doing it, and I'm not quite sure how the time difference plays out there. Why, hello, Cape. We're not going to get Buttersword, guys.
Wow, what an excellent location for that item. Of course, remembering back to the Bumper Cave, which was a sword upgrade.
Well, this isn't where I typically expect 8 to be, but coming up to chest 8. It's just a big 20.
Oh yes, my guess already blown long out the water.
No, but you got what? You got the silvers in yours, or was it the red mail? I'm not sure which chest I can't remember which chest he opened first in that room and which one he opened second.
Bottom right, bottom left. Then.
Okay, so silvers was your chest then.
I would take silvers any day of the week. Of course, I am not a runner within this tournament. I myself am rather bad, if I say so myself. But thankfully, our runners are putting up the show for all of you here, as Sefi is going to check at least the first two chests. Interesting if they opt to go right side. Does look like that is the case, so we'll be getting his red mail and silvers.
Yep. So as of this point, it sort of comes down to being KillerApp's race to lose at this point. KillerApp has a significant enough lead that minor execution should not allow Sefi to make up the space here. But all it takes is one problem with Ganon. Oh, a Wallmaster on Sefi. That might affect him doing the right side. Yeah, he's not going to finish doing the right side.
Definitely not a bad call. There are a lot of items on the left side as well, but now the big key was in the randomizer room, so Sefi is going to miss out on the red mail and silvers.
My problem is I'm not counting, so now I need to count all the chest locations to figure out where the heck which number that
yeah,
was.
I didn't count it.
10, 11,
1, 2, 3,
12, 13, 14, 15, chest 15, chat, confirm or deny. I get 15. It sounds too low, but...
he checked the bottom left, then the bottom right in random room, I believe. So it is the second chest checked in the randomizer room. We are trained professionals. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you, chat.
Meanwhile, KillerApp setting foot into the gauntlet with having both silver arrows as well as red mail and tempered will make this pretty much a walk in the park.
Yeah, shouldn't be much issue at all in here for sure. Butter can make a minor advantage in here, but once again, this is actually one of the only places in the game where Butter, aside from a couple boss quick kills, that Butter really makes a difference. And even here, it's a very small difference.
Yes, Sefi will be picking up his big key.
Getting some silver arrow strats, and we're getting red flashing Landmolas. I don't think that was the Landmolas he was trying to kill. That's actually very impressive. I think that arrow actually hit an enemy that was behind him. I need to watch that on the full stream. Oh no, he did fire down. Never mind, he fired down.
Yeah.
I thought he was firing up at the other at the one he missed.
Yes, of course. Weirder things have happened in this game as Sefi is
Missed the quick whiz rope kill. Made it up with doing a swag strat that's not quite the normal strat on the second time round.
Again, a lot of personalization that can be made within this game, even at this late of stage. Of course, there are more quote-unquote set in stone techniques to get through certain rooms, but
okay, we're not getting a sprite despawn glitch here, which is always good. You don't want to see a race decided by a sprite despawn glitch.
yes, that is true. That does mean that you will have to reload the dungeon, which means going all the way back to the start.
And now I'm not familiar. Do you know if it's just a mirror out that will fix it, or do you actually have to save and quit and reclimb the mountain as well?
No, just a reload. Ooh, unfortunate killer app getting a little bit too much knockback, but yeah, mirroring back to the start of the dungeon is sufficient enough to reload.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you want to walk all the way back down the steps, but it is definitely faster to mirror out. Now, by no means is it fast, as it is quite a significant time loss.
Anyways, Voldorm 2 is down. And with
explosive finish.
Yeah. We had an explosive start, we had an explosive finish.
The first and last chests of the game containing bombs. Of course, the last one having quite significantly less bombs than our first one, as we did find the Uncle Tenner.
Yeah, the one way you're not getting bomb strat at the start is when you find the bombs in the chest. Nice triple.
That was an amazing setup for KillerApp. Unfortunately, it gets a blue ball.
Oh! Angle was just off. Very nice angles. KillerApp has practiced his geometry.
Definitely, blue balls not making such a big deal in the Aghanim 2 fight, as there are always 2 energy balls being fired by the Phantom Aghanims. But with that being said, KillerApp is into the Ganon fight momentarily, as Sefi is making his way up the tower in the torch room right now.
Yeah, still definitely a race if KillerApp makes a mistake here, but definitely close enough that one mistake could make a difference here.
Yes, for the 1.5 hour runtime of this race, this has been extremely close.
Yeah. Really, the difference almost entirely being the blind death for Sefi, unfortunately.
Oh, that is very true. Of course, at the point that Sefi was, it would have been a very difficult fight nonetheless. Sefi checking a couple of more chests, hoping for maybe red mail, silvers. Unfortunately, will not find them.
Oh yes, I forgot about the lack of silvers as well. So yeah, actually this race is... that puts a significant larger portion in there as well. I didn't think that worked. Good try though, KillerApp.
Yeah. gets
nice double
a
to finish it, though.
double. With that, KillerApp will have defeated the pig and will be collecting his Triforce momentarily.
Definitely GG to KillerApp23.
GG indeed. As KillerApp finishes with a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 42 seconds. And following closely behind, .com and LOL. Following closely behind is Sefi on the Aghanim 2 fight. We'll be into the Ganon fight shortly as well.
Nicely done. Here we go. The bat crashes into the pyramid. And GG here to KillerApp.
Yeah, GG. Thanks.
That was quite the race that was quite the handout seed there.
Yeah, it was sort of really good breadcrumb seed for sure.
It definitely was. Sefi got the nice swag double hit with the spin off the trident there at the start of the Ganon fight to get the one cycle first phase. Yeah, but no, what'd you think of the race there? Outside of that, it was actually really nice. Actually, I found that it opened up immediately, but it didn't open up so much that you had everywhere.
Right. Yeah, you could really route that pretty well, I thought. Could have waited to go up to Death Mountain until I got. Well, yeah. I guess I routed that right, but I know I lost a little bit of time early, not going to South Shore for the boots.
Yeah, but that's sort of a gamble that you make in each play, of course.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I thought I played the seed pretty well. A couple execution blunders towards the end, but I thought I played pretty well.
Yeah. We'll talk about we'll talk about some of the differences once we get Sefi in here, since he's doing a good old Silverless Ganon right now.
Oh, he didn't do right side.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes.
Oh, okay.
But one of the other big things that actually separated, Sefi had a death to blind on the first time there.
Oh, okay.
Which makes up actually almost the entire difference, and which is this race could have been down to the seconds if that hadn't happened.
Awesome. Yeah, that would have been a really good race then.
Well, and with an hour 30 minute versus hour 35 minute ish finish time, that still is a really good race.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't be too many more spins. I haven't been keeping track of how far we are, but he's definitely been landing them fairly effectively. Also, of course, everyone enjoying the fact that we had non all items go mode.
Oh yeah, no flippers.
No flippers. Who needs flippers?
Yeah, who needs flippers anyway?
Oh, geez, there was a shield on pedestal too.
Oh my. Shield at digging spot, shield at pedestal.
And shield on Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, I was afraid I was gonna find the flippers in T-Rock. I was glad it was Bombo's.
And with that, Sefi finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 34 minutes and 40 seconds. Only 4 minutes behind KillerApp. Definitely a very close race.
Yeah, well done by him.
Unfortunately, he will not be joining us for a post-race commentary, so we'll just have to do with.
Well,
with KillerApp.
Well, we'll tell you the other thing he did. So he did right side. He opened the door, and then got wall mastered.
Oh no! Yeah, I've had that happen to me before too. That's not That's
and then
an
of course
awful
he just
feeling.
and then he just went left side, and so he didn't get red
Yeah,
mail
yeah.
and silvers. But
Makes sense. Yeah, that's what I usually do if I get wall mastery.
so yeah, this race could have been this race could have been just that much closer with either one or both of those things not happening.
Dang.
The red mail silvers didn't really change anything. You were probably still 2.5 minutes ahead already at that point, but yeah, both of you. So you never checked Skullwoods at all, right? You didn't even do the front of Skullwoods.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and he never did Eastern Palace.
Yeah.
So that evened each other. That evened both of you. And aside from that, most of your checks were pretty much all the same. Maybe a few small differences here or there, but really, you two basically did all the same things in largely completely different order. Because as we mentioned, the seed did open up a bunch right at the start. Because how does it not when he gives you Dark World access with Hammer right off the bat?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But pretty much immediately. But so of course, like Sefi started with actually the North Dark World. And I was really disappointed that King's Tomb didn't have a progression item. It's like, here, have a progression item in Bonk Rocks, have a progression item in wasn't required progression in Graveyard Ledge, but Quake.
Yeah, that sort of stinks because that's one I don't check too often unless it's easy to route in. Like this seed, it was easy to route in because I had mirror and boots.
Well, it would have been fun for something like Titan's Mist to be in there, and one of those cases where you can't, where that's just where it happens to be. But no, it was definitely great. You basically just got to keep doing Crystal Dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what you actually would have had to do for actual Go mode. Couldn't have been too much worse.
No.
Because it couldn't have been Pedestal, it couldn't have been in Swamp Palace, and we saw most of Eastern Palace and Skull Woods. So
yeah. So that'd most likely be in the overworld somewhere.
Yeah, most likely in the overworld somewhere. Anyways, GG, any other final comments you have for this one here, Killer?
No, just well done by my opponent. Good luck to him the rest of the way. And thanks again for Speed Gaming hosting the tournament. It's been fun so far, and props to Feasel. Do an amazing job always.
Yeah, thank you very much. And with that, we'll continue some shoutouts here. So, of course, if you've enjoyed this, do consider giving Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6 a follow, as they're going to be hosting a lot of this tournament, as well as a lot of other fun stuff. And if you specifically like the tournament, also consider giving ALTTP Randomizer through ALTTP Randomizer 4 a follow, as they are also hosting a lot of these races, and there are plenty of races going around right now. So definitely consider giving them a follow if you're enjoying this tournament or enjoy speedrunning in general.
Yes, there will definitely not be a shortage of races. And with that, I would also like to give some shoutouts to our tracker, Nutch212, for making our jobs a lot easier, as well as my co-commentator, Spiffers. Thank you for joining me on this ride.
Thank you as well, Stan. It was one heck of a race. You don't see a lot of races come down to both racers finishing in under an hour 35. So it's fantastic to see not just see that could be fast, but both racers playing it to that capacity. Definitely
some great runners. Be sure to give both of them a follow, as well as the Speed Gaming channels, as you mentioned before. But with that being said, I shall take my leave. Take care for the rest of the night, and see you the next rando. Yeah, I'll just before I officially sign off, I am just going to shout out, of course, we have another race. We've got races going on all day. Looks like we've got a 4 o'clock race. Viper King 2 versus A6 going on at Speed Gaming 4, and pretty much a race every hour through the rest of the day. At least 1 or 2 going on throughout the rest of the day, all the way through till 12:30. So lots of races. Everyone have a fantastic day.